going to give you a question. You are fake news.
Duty, we'll come on to that. But today, you've chosen to speak out for the first time. Why have you decided to talk now?
Because there is no good time to talk about Mr. Epstein and all things associated.
Before Epstein was arrested and allegedly committed suicide. And it's interesting to see the fallout with all this now, and not only the fallout, but the selective, so it seems, cover-up. The mainstream media does not want to cover this story, but they feel obligated. Prince Charles is wrapped into it, and if you look at the previous pictures, clearly he was a friend of Epstein. And then the response he gave that he stayed at Epstein's place because that was the easiest thing to do, the most logical thing to do. I'm like, dude, are you crazy? I mean, if anything, I would have said, well, because he was a friend, I stayed there. But to say he stayed there out of convenience, yeah, you did a lot of things out of convenience. And to say you stayed there, and the entire interview, to be honest with you, was a complete debacle. I can't believe the palace allowed him to go before camera without prepping him or giving talking points. And of all places, New York City, he could have very easily jumped into the Carlisle. There are any number of places that he could have stayed. He could have called his old buddy Bill Clinton and said, hey, Bill, let me crash on your couch. But to say that he did it out of convenience, I mean, and the way he said it was so nonchalant, he wasn't even buying what he was saying when he said it. So if he wasn't buying it, I mean, we sure as heck didn't buy it. And now mommy has kicked him out of the palace. And apparently they're erasing everything that has to do with him from the, but right. And, and it makes you wonder, what's going to happen here? Are they going to get to the bottom of it? Will he be linked? Or is the palace saying he's guilty? We're kicking him out. We're going to hang him out to dry. I mean, to be kicked out of the palace, your birthday party has been, canceled, and you've been relieved of your royal duties. And it would be one thing if they would say, well, until this matter is all sorted out, he's going to take a hiatus. But no, he gets kicked out of the palace. He's taken from all of his royal duties. So apparently there's more to this than what they're saying. As they say, wherever there's smoke, there's fire. And Andrew, I hope you have a good attorney, because this doesn't look good at all. Bill Clinton has been absent as of lately from anything in the media. I mean, every so often his name will come up. I think the other day he was on CNN trying to give the president some advice as far as being impeached, something that he knows about because he did commit a crime. He did lie about having an affair with Monica Lewinsky, who was of age, although the media will say she was a kid. She was of age, but still. Okay, Bill has been in hiding. He's in hiding because if he's not in hiding, if he comes out there, I mean, the Me Too folks, they've got to attack, they've got to say something about what he's done and what he continues to do. I mean, Bill Clinton loves his chase skirt tails. It's plain and simple. I mean, so right now he's in hiding, and as long as he's in hiding, the media will stay clear of him. But the moment that head comes up, and I'm not the head on his shoulder, not the other head, folks. Okay, come on. As soon as that head pops up, come on now. As soon as that head pops up, I mean, they have no choice but to go ahead and say something about Bill Clinton and his relationship with Epstein and the relationship with the prince. I mean, this whole thing with Epstein committing suicide, it's not plausible at all. It's not plausible. I mean, how is it that this guy who had the goods on a lot of people, and they were going to probably try and shake him, but he's been shaken before. He was in jail previously, but it was like one of those things whereby, okay, I'm going to check in at noon, then I'm going to check out at 2 because I've got to go back home to my palace and stay there. I mean, it's like only in America, only in the Democrat land do these things happen. And it's completely unreal. So I say to Bill, wherever you are, stay there, and perhaps you should take Hillary with you. And you guys go to the woods and live there happily ever after. If you can keep her mouth shut. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I do believe that he's going to stay away. for the time being. And just going back to your point, Andrew, about the American media covering him, again, as long as he's in hiding, they're not going to say anything about it. But the moment he comes out, I mean, they have no choice. They've got to say something. I think one of the things that we've got to think about and consider here also, and I hate to throw this out there, but I'm going to, is the age of consent. And the age of consent varies from state to state. I think right now, a majority of the states, the age of consent is 16. Some states it's 17. But not too long ago, I think in some of the southern states, like in Virginia, the age of consent was 13. And I don't know what the age of these girls were, but I wouldn't at all be surprised if that's thrown in there. But the other factor here is that the billionaire Maxwell, I can't remember his daughter's name, she was involved. She was grooming these women for Epstein, Clinton, and all these other people. So it makes you wonder, why would a person of her stature, a female about anything, and a Democrat, a liberal, why would she groom these young innocent girls? Maxwell, who was a billionaire, who was also into newspapers and broadcast media and whatnot, his daughter was a very close friend of Epstein, and I think at one point they might have dated. But she was responsible, so they say, of grooming these young girls, providing these young girls to Epstein. So again, the saga continues. The real story is yet to be told. Was caught once back in the early 2000s smoking a bong naked and was arrested for disorderly conduct in Texas. So hey, what can you do? There's a liberal. Come on. Well, this is what I'll say. Katie Hill, perhaps she is a victim of revenge porn. I don't know if her ex-husband put those pictures out there, but me personally, you can look at my background, you can look through all my stuff, my computer, no make it a staffer. Okay. A subordinate. That's the story. And apparently, from what I'm hearing, that staffer was had to see a psychiatrist because she was traumatized. She felt as if she turned down you coming on to her, she could have lost her job. Not only that, she was also, so it's alleged, Katie was having an affair with a male staffer. So therein lies the issue, Katie. Now, I'm sure you want to get to the bottom of the revenge porn. You're probably mad at your hubby for releasing it. But Katie, come on. What about the poor staffer whom you're sitting there brushing her hair, butt naked? Are you serious? And she didn't object to that then? I mean, again, she and her husband, they're probably having they're divorced. The relationship probably went sour. They probably still haven't made up. He's probably angry because he wanted to participate in the menage a trois. She didn't want him to. She wanted to keep the staffer to herself. Who knows what goes on with these swinging liberals? Okay. But one thing that I do know is that she was having an affair with the subordinate. That can't happen. Didn't she read the rule book? As soon as she came to Congress, didn't Nancy Pelosi say, here, read this? Or Adam Schiff, didn't someone advise her or counsel her to say, hey, you can't do this? Now, as far as Alexandria, or whatever her name is, as far as she's concerned, and the Trojan horse, Ilhan Omar, I mean, they're going to always stand up and say, oh, it's the man's fault. It's the man's fault because there's a war on masculinity. There's a war on men. But again, I bring you back to the point that she had an affair with a subordinate. Had it been a male having an affair with a subordinate like Bill Clinton did, okay, there would have been consequences. There are consequences to your actions. And for her to try to, circumvent the process and say, oh, this is about revenge porn. Okay, you can take care of that with you and your husband at a later date. Right now, you're out of Congress, and rightfully so. But that poor girl who was traumatized because of your actions, I mean, they should have rebuked her on the floor of the Senate, but they didn't. They should have. Nancy Pelosi should have came out there and said, hey, we do not permit this. We do not allow this. But did they? No. They didn't even do it for Ilhan Omar when she came out saying all this crazy stuff about Israel. Instead, they want to rebuke the president and say, oh, well, he's saying all this bad stuff. It's like, no, let's cut through all this stuff. Let's get to the core. The core is you have congressmen, congresswomen behaving badly. And unless you call them, they're going to keep doing it. Not that. Okay, so real quick, folks, on Mayor Bloomberg, who has now officially decided to run. Let me take that back. Who has now officially decided to attempt to buy an election. Folks, come on. This is a sign that the Democrats are in trouble. If Bloomberg is entering this race, he's trying to buy the race. These candidates are in trouble. So all these polls that you've been hearing about Donald Trump, he's 10 points behind. He's 20 points behind. Don't you believe? It's all a lie. Smoke screens. Don't believe it. He's going to skip the first three elections. He's going to skip Iowa, New Hampshire, and I think one other state. And he's going for Super Tuesday when a lot of states are voting, casting their ballots at the same time. You know, Giuliani tried to do that also back in 2008, I think it was, and he failed miserably. Bloomberg, I don't care how much money you have, unless you're going to go out and buy people to vote for you, which, as a Democrat, it is conceivable that he could do it. It's not going to work. And I think that if people forget who this guy is, just think, if you enjoy drinking your big gulp of Coke or Sprite or Pepsi, he's going to take that from you. And not only that, he's going to probably take away your filet mignon, because he wants everything to be pristine clean, and he wants us all to exercise. It ain't gonna work, folks. You see that happening all the time with Trump supporters. The media will zoom in and try to put this conflict. They did it with Nikki Haley. They're now doing it with John Bolton. It's like and with the Vice President Pence. They are notorious for trying to put a wedge in between the president's man to say, oh, you know, you can't trust Donald Trump. In the meanwhile, they don't like these people either. The media does not like Giuliani. They don't like, what's the guy's name? They didn't like Nikki Haley. John Bolton, they don't like, but they'll make it seem as though they like them so that these people will turn on the president. Now, as far as Giuliani, that's concerning. I mean, because we know how mean the Democrat machine could be. I mean, people turn up missing. Your dog is dead. I mean, all these little nefarious things take place. Now, of course, the media will downplay it. But if the mayor is saying, hey, if something happens to me, if I turn up missing, dead, or whatnot, all of this information is going to be released. I think that we should definitely take him serious about it, because we know that the Democrats have always used their power to gain favor, to gain riches. Look at the Clintons, look at Obama. I mean, these people were penniless, and now they're like almost multimillionaires. There's something to it. So, Mayor, watch your back. Just like Epstein, a billionaire. Look at what happened. You never know. You never know. For you, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Watch out, folks. I was looking and I'm like, okay, this has to be a prototype. What exactly is this? So I just like passed it on. And then I started hearing all these news reports about, oh, it didn't go right. It didn't go right, blah, blah, blah. So I stopped and I watched it. I'm thinking, what the heck? Are you serious? I mean, are they sure that they tested the windows for this thing? I mean, how big of a fail is that? You're on, you know, you have all your investors in there and you're videotaping this and you're saying, oh, by the way, take this brick and let's see how strong it is. The brick, bolt cracks. Oh my, major failure. Come on, dude. It's like, it's unbelievable. Prototype. And apparently, according to Elon Musk, he has, I think, 200,000 orders already for this truck. Tesla, the cars are nice. I like them. As far as a truck, I prefer the GMC, and the Dodge Ram. Love those. Those are muscle trucks. This thing he's putting out there, maybe it'll catch on. I don't know. But that was a colossal failure. A colossal failure. Yelled at somebody, probably got fired, but man, like, I mean, that's a huge embarrassment, man. Where? Stick with the car.